Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 38.
So our story kicks off with Liu Bei Xuande having already struck out twice, trying to meet this uh, elusive Zhuge Liang. Most people would probably throw in the towel after two failed attempts, right?
Mm.
What was driving him? This incredible persistence for a third try. Why not just move on?
That's a great question, actually, because it tells us so much about Liu Bei, his character, his vision. It wasn't just like blind stubbornness. It was a deep, profound understanding of what Zhuge Liang represented, his potential value. And what's even more telling, I think, are the reactions of his sworn brothers, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei. They were decidedly not on board with visit number 3.
Oh, absolutely. Guan Yu, the serious, stoic general, he thought Liu Bei was being too respectful. He even suggested Zhuge Liang might just have basically a false reputation, no real talent, and was maybe just avoiding them. You can almost hear the exasperation.
Right. And then there's Zhang Fei, classic Zhang Fei. True to his hot-headed nature, he was just utterly dismissive, calls Zhuge Liang a mere da, a country bumpkin, and then offers, and this is my favorite bit, to simply snow Fei. Just tie him up with a rope and drag him back by force.
Unbelievable.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How does a leader handle that? You've got these strong, loyal, well-meaning guys, but maybe a bit short-sighted, especially when you're pursuing this much grander, long-term vision. It's a classic leadership problem.
It really is. And Liu Bei's response here is it's crucial. He doesn't just wave them off. He firmly rebukes Zhang Fei, puts him in his place. He brings up history, Duke Huan of Qi visiting Dongguo 5 times, King Wen of Zhou seeking out Jiang Ziya. He's making a point. He emphasizes the profound reverence due to a great sage, a wise man. He even says Zhang Fei can't come if he can't control his temper, though Zhang Fei, being Zhang Fei, insists on joining, but promises, to behave.
Yeah.
This moment really tells you everything about Liu Bei's resolve, his leadership style. He knows what he wants and what it takes.
That's exactly it. This isn't just politeness. Liu Bei is demonstrating a deep strategic understanding. He gets how you earn invaluable expertise like this. He's signaling not just humility, but his absolute commitment, showing he values Zhuge Liang's wisdom above his own comfort, his own status. It's like a masterclass in pre-framing, showing Zhuge Liang, I understand your worth.
So Liu Bei sets the tone. The journey itself then begins with him getting off his horse about, a quarter mile away, half a li, the text says, from Zhuge Liang's hut in Longzhang, and he walks the rest of the way. Again, just reinforcing that deep respect.
Indeed. And the first person they meet isn't even Zhuge Liang, it's his younger brother, Zhuge Yun. He confirms, yeah, Zhuge Liang got back last night, but then he just sort of floats away. Doesn't offer to lead them, isn't particularly helpful.
Floats away.
Yeah.
Classic. And Zhang Fei, naturally, starts getting annoyed again. He's all about action, right? But Liu Bei just calmly explains. Liu Bei, basically, everyone's got their own stuff going on. You can't force them. Such incredible patience.
And his patience is truly tested right after that. They finally get to the hut, and this kid, an attendant, tells them Zhuge Liang is taking an afternoon nap in the main hall, the Tuma. Liu Bei's reaction here is absolutely key. He decides not to disturb him, just stands respectfully on the steps, waiting.
Can you just imagine the tension? Guan Yu and Zhang Fei are waiting outside, and Zhang Fei's frustration just explodes. He's furious. He thinks Zhuge Liang is being arrogant, letting Liu Bei, a member of the imperial family, wait while he's snoozing. And Zhang Fei actually suggests setting fire to the house to wake him up. I mean, really, first the rope, now arson.
It's almost comical, isn't it?
Totally. Luckily, Guan Yu steps in, calms him down. Good old Guan Yu.
It really underscores the test Liu Bei is going through, though, and he continues his patient vigil. He even sees Zhuge Liang turn over in his sleep, then turn back again. And he stops the attendant from announcing them. He just waits. To another whole hour. It's almost unbelievable.
So Liu Bei's endured this crazy long wait, stood there for ages. What happens finally? Does Zhuge Liang just jump up, apologize profusely, or is there one last twist? Because this is where it gets really interesting. Zhuge Liang finally wakes up, and he recites this poem, which is now legendary, Cher Si Sa, something like, "Who first awoke from the great dream? I alone know this in my life. The spring sleep in my hut is enough. Outside the window, the day lingers." And then he casually asks the attendant if any vulgar common guests have shown up.
That's the twist. Vulgar guests. After Liu Bei's been waiting for hours, the attendant then tells him, just a sense, Yu Huangsu, Prince Liu, has been waiting a long time. And Zhuge Liang, feigns surprise, exclaims, "Why wasn't I told earlier?" And then he takes his sweet time to cry, to
Yeah.
change his clothes, making Liu Bei wait even longer.
This isn't just arrogance, is it? It feels like a deliberate psychological test.
He's not just checking Liu Bei's IQ. He's probing his patience, his commitment, his ability to handle frustration. These are qualities you absolutely need in the leader who's going to execute this massive plan he has in mind. What do you think? Deliberate trial or just? Zhu Ziliang being Zhu Ziliang.
I think it's got to be both, right? I mean, on one level, it's definitely a power move. He's showing his immense value right from the get-go, setting the terms. But maybe more importantly, if you're looking for someone to lead this incredibly difficult world-changing enterprise, don't you need to know they can endure immense frustration and still keep their eyes on the prize? It shows he wants more than just a polite visitor. He's vetting a true partner.
Exactly. And when Zhuge Liang finally comes out, the description is amazing. Ooh, tall, face like jade. Ooh, wearing the scholar's cap, a crane feather cloak, looking almost like an immortal. It's quite the entrance. And Liu Bei immediately bows low, humbly introduces himself as last of the Han Imperial line, a foolish man from Zhu Commandery. Says he's heard Zhuge Liang's name. Ooh, like thunder echoing in his ears.
And Zhuge Liang's response, just as humble, calls himself, "Oh, wild man from Nanyang, naturally lazy." And Zhuge now just a farmer. He even suggests Liu Bei is seeking a het, a stubborn rock, when there are beautiful jades elsewhere. This whole dance of humility, especially after that long wait, it just underscores how genuine Liu Bei's persistence was.
It does, but Liu Bei cuts right through it. He appeals directly to Zhuge Liang's sense of duty for all the people under heaven. He argues basically that a man of such incredible talent shouldn't just waste his life farming in seclusion. And this is the turning point. The conversation shifts. It's not just about Liu Bei getting help, it's about the fate of the empire.
And then the moment arrives. Zhuge Liang asks Liu Bei point blank about his ambitions. Liu Bei is again humble, dismisses his own efforts as short on wisdom and strategy. He begs for guidance to Liu to rescue him from his current difficulties. And this, right here, is where the legendary Longzhong plan, the Wu, unfolds. Okay, so what really stands out to you about the brilliance of this strategy?
Oh, the sheer clarity and foresight are just breathtaking. He breaks it down so simply. First, the existing powers. Cao Cao, too strong. He controls the emperor, holds the emperor to command the lords. You can't fight him directly yet. Sun Quan. He's got a solid base down in Jiangdong, the southeast. Loyal people, strong position, so Sun Quan should be an ally. Use him for support. Don't try to conquer him. Pure strategic pragmatism.
Right. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Then he points out Liu Bei's openings. Jin Province Jingzhou is this vital military hub. Basically, heaven's gift to you, General, because its current ruler, Liu Biao, can't hold it effectively. And Yi Province Yizhou, modern Sichuan, it's naturally fortified, fertile, the land of abundance. And it's ripe for the taking because its ruler, Lu Zhang, is weak. It's like he's seeing the whole chessboard, moves ahead of everyone else.
Absolutely. So the grand plan, the duzi, the tripod formation, like the legs of an ancient cauldron, is this. Liu Bei first needs to take Jingzhou and Yuzhou, secure those bases, then ally with the western tribes, pacify the southern barbarians, the Nanman, form a strong alliance with Sun Quan, and crucially manage his internal government well, build a stable foundation.
And this whole tripod idea, it hinges on something really key, human harmony. That ability to inspire people, to unite them, that's Liu Bei's unique advantage, isn't it? Because Zhuge Liang points out Cao Cao already has heaven's timing political legitimacy via the emperor, and Sun Quan has Duda's advantage, that unassailable geography of Yundong. So Liu Bei has to win through the people, through...
Precisely. That's his path. And the final step. Wait for an opportune moment, a change in the world situation. Then strike. Attack the central plains from two directions. One army from Jingzhou towards Wan and Luo. And Liu Bei himself leads the main force out of Yuzhou towards Qintuan, the heartland. The people, Zhuge Liang predicts, exhausted by war, will welcome them with open arms. See Esh Regle, leading, hopefully, to the restoration of the Han dynasty. And to illustrate all this, he pulls out a map. The Han e-tailed map of the 54 prefectures of Yi province. It's the ultimate mic drop moment.
Wow, Liu Bei is just completely blown away. He feels Geno glowed like clouds parting to reveal a clear blue sky, an absolute epiphany. But then he raises a moral objection. Very Liu Bei. How can he take land from Liu Biao in Jingzhou and Lu Zhang in Yuzhou? They're relatives, also part of the Han imperial family.
It's a classic Liu Bei concern, isn't it? That tension between strategic necessity and personal morality. Zhuge Liang's answer is pretty stunning. It's basically a prophecy. He says he's observed the heavens, the stars, and he knows Liu Biao won't live much longer, and Liu Zhang isn't the kind of ruler who can build something lasting. He essentially assures Liu Bei, look, these lands are destined to be yours anyway. Liu Bei bows deeply. It's like Zhuge Liang gives him strategic and moral clearance in one go.
Yeah, it neatly sidesteps the immediate moral problem, and the famous poem sums it all up perfectly. Wu Xiyang. The Prince of Yu lamented his loneliness. How lucky to find the sleeping dragon in Nanyang. To know where the tripod would divide in future years, the master smiled and pointed to the map. It's poetic, strategic, powerful stuff.
But even after unveiling this brilliant plan, Zhuge Liang initially refuses Liu Bei's plea to join him. He says, he loves farming, he's lazy, he's avoided worldly affairs for so long. It's another layer, maybe part of the test, part of his persona.
But Liu Bei's raw sincerity finally breaks through that reserve. He starts to weep. The text says his tears soak his robes and sleeves, and he cries out, Master, if you don't come out, what will become of the common people? It's that genuine concern for the people, that deep sense of moral duty, not just ambition, that finally sways Zhuge Liang. It hits him right in the heart.
Yes. Seeing Liu Bei's profound sincerity, Zhuge Liang finally agrees. He consents to leave his quiet life. Even then, he initially refuses the gifts, gold, and silk offered by Liu Bei and the brothers. But Liu Bei insists, saying it's hukodoge, not a formal hiring gift for a great sage, just a small token of my heart. Zhuge Liang accepts. They spend the night talking, planning, cementing this bond that would truly change the course of Chinese history. This is the moment the foundation is really laid. After Liu Bei's famous 3 visits, and Zhuge Liang agrees, he leaves his quiet life to join Liu Bei, a huge decision.
Yeah, it really is. And one detail that jumps out from the sources is what he does. Like right away, we hear he tells his younger brothers, Zhuge Liang, keep farming, keep those fields going. Sensible enough, right?
Practical.
But then, almost in the same breath, he talks about his own hope to return to reclusion, Guilin, once the mission's done. It's almost contradictory, isn't it? Planning his exit strategy before he's even really started. It hints at something, maybe a deeper understanding of the costs involved.
It's really poignant reading that now, knowing what happens later, even with this early talk of retirement.
And that ancient poem, it's not just flavor text, it's this incredible tribute to his mind. The poem talks about his persuasive power, like he could stir winds and thunder with his tongue, just amazing imagery for his intellect.
And Liu Bei's reaction, instant respect, almost awe. The sources say he treated him as a teacher, Rushi, sharing meals, sleeping quarters, talking world affairs constantly. What forged that bond so quickly? Was it just reputation?
That's a great point. It probably was a mix, right? Liu Bei was desperate for someone like him, and Zhuge Liang clearly had this commanding presence and intellect and this closeness. It paid off immediately, strategically. One of Zhuge Liang's very first pieces of advice, reportedly, was about Cao Cao. He tells Liu Bei, look, Cao Cao's training a navy at Chuanghuchi, this Wanwuchi up in Jizu. The implication. An invasion of Jiangyin is coming.
And Liu Bei acts on it instantly.
Right away. Sends spies to Jiangdong to get intel. It just shows how quickly Zhuge Liang's thinking turned into real action. Sets the tone, really.
Okay, so that intelligence about Jiangnan, that brings us perfectly to our next subject. Let's shift focus there. To Jiangdong itself, where Sun Quan wasn't just stepping into his brother's shoes after Sun Si died, he was actively building something new, something formidable.
Exactly. The situation could have been shaky, but Sun Quan moves fast. And what's really striking is how he doesn't just inherit the foundation from his father and brother. He builds on it significantly. He was incredibly proactive about recruiting talent, setting up, special guest houses in Wu and Weiji just to welcome scholars and officials. It's like strategic state building, very forward-thinking.
And the list of people he brought in, it's staggering. You look at the names in the sources. Scholars like Gu Yang, Zhang Hong, who ran those guest houses, Kanze, Yan Jun, Su Zong.
Shang Bing, Zhu Huan, Lu Ji, Zhang Wen, Luo Tong, Wu Can. The list goes on.
And Sun Quan apparently showed them all immense respect. But it wasn't just scholars, was it? He was focused on military strength, too.
Oh, absolutely. That's the key. He understood you needed both brains and brawn. So you get renowned generals joining him, too. People like Lu Meng, Lu Sun, Xu Sheng, Pan Zhang, Ting Sheng. All these figures, civil and military, working together. It's why Yangdong got that reputation for having a flourishing pool of talent, the Cheng leaders in Sheng. This talent pooling really made Jiangdong stable, powerful.
So, Jiangdong's strong, organized, full of talent. And then comes the test from the north. It's Jian 7, so 202 AD. Cao Cao's just beaten Yuan Shao, feeling pretty powerful, and he sends an envoy down to Jiangdong with the demand.
Yep, and the demand itself, well, maybe sounding harsh, was actually a standard political move back then. Cao Cao insists Sun Quan send one of his sons to the imperial court as a hostage.
Oh, okay.
It was known as the tactic to tie up feudal lords. They qinzi zu hu zifa. Basically, hold the son, control the father, right? Keep guys like Sun Quan in line.
Makes sense. But Sun Quan must have been, well, conflicted. That's a huge ask.
Definitely hesitant.
Yeah.
Caught between giving in and standing defiant. So he calls this crucial meeting, gets his mother, Wu Taifuren, and his top advisors, Zhou Yu and Zhang Zhao, together to figure out what to do. The stakes are enormous.
What was the initial advice? I imagine Zhang Zhao was cautious.
Exactly. Zhang Zhao took the pragmatic route. He basically said, look, if we don't send a hostage, Cao Cao's likely going to invade. We could lose everything. Survival first, avoid the fight if possible.
Okay, the safe play. But Zhu Yu, he had a different take, didn't he? A bolder one.
Oh, completely different. Ziyu comes in strong. He reminds Sun Quan of everything they have. The 6 commanderies, Yujin Zizong, the elite troops and ample provisions, Bingjing Langfu, and crucially, the loyal soldiers, Jiang Xiangming.
He's saying we're strong enough.
Precisely. He argues, why should we send a hostage? Doing that just makes us puppets. We'd be tied to Cao Cao, forced to follow his orders. Zhu Yu's advice, don't do it. Instead, observe the situation, Zhu Guan Qibian. Play for time, find another good strategy, Bilan Shiyuzi, to deal with Cao Cao. It's a declaration of self-belief, really.
Wow. Quite the contrast. And then the deciding voice, it comes from his mother.
Yes, Wu Taifuren. In this really pivotal moment, she sides with Zhu Yu, and Sun Quan listens to her, follows Zhu Yu's bold advice, and politely refuses Cao Cao's demand. Family politics shaping state policy right there.
Incredible. So the refusal goes back north.
And the immediate result, it pretty much locks in Cao Cao's plan to invade Jiangyan eventually. This defiance. It makes Jiangdong a clear target. Now, Cao Cao was still busy up north, consolidating power, so he couldn't act right away. But the die was cast. This refusal absolutely set the stage for the huge conflicts to come. Sun Quan leading his forces against Guangzhou. This is a major confrontation on the Great River.
Yeah, not just a minor skirmish. Sun Quan's pushing hard.
But things go wrong pretty quickly. His general, Ling Cao, he's leading the charge in a light boat, really bravely, right into Sheku.
Right into the thick of it.
And bam, he gets hit by an arrow. From Huangzu's general Gan Ning, just like that, he's killed.
A huge blow for Sun Quan's attack. Swift and brutal.
But what happens next is, wow, Ling Cao's son, Ling Tong, he's only 15. 15.
Yeah, just a kid, really, in that context.
And amidst all the fighting, the chaos, he fights his way through, risking everything just to get his father's body back.
That image is incredibly powerful, isn't it? That filial piety, that courage, even as their side is, well, losing the immediate fight.
Absolutely. Sun Quan sees this, sees the loss, and he has to pull back. Retreat to Eastern Wu. It's a real reminder of the personal cost, right? The human tragedy behind the tactics.
It really is. And it shows how these grand conflicts are just filled with these individual moments of intense emotion and bravery.
Right.
Ling Tong's actions really stand out.
They do. And, okay, so from that open battlefield, the story shifts focus. And this is where it gets, I think, even more complex.
We move to betrayal. Closer to home for Sun Quan.
Yeah, betrayal from within. This involves Sun Quan's own brother, Sun Yi. He was the governor of Danyang.
And Sun Yi, well, he had a bit of a problem, didn't he? According to the source.
He did.
Yeah.
Liked his wine a lot. And apparently he had a habit of whipping his soldiers when he was drunk. Not a great leadership strategy.
No, definitely not. Creates resentment, makes people look for opportunities.
And that's exactly what happened. His own Danyang commander, Gilan, and the county chief, Dai Yuan, they saw their chance. They were plotting against him.
And they weren't alone. They brought Sun Yi's own attendant, Bian Hong, into the conspiracy. He was the inside man, the one to actually do the deed.
Classic setup for a downfall.
Yeah.
But here's where Lady Zhu comes in. Sun Yi's wife.
Ah, yes, Lady Zhu. described as beautiful, but more importantly, incredibly wise.
And skilled in divination, using the Yi Ching.
That's right. And on the very day Sun Yi planned this big banquet.
She does a divination, and the result, greatly inauspicious. A really bad omen.
So she warns him, right? Tells him, don't meet guests today. Something bad is going to happen.
A clear, heartfelt warning from someone known for her wisdom.
Yeah.
And Sun Yi
ignores it. Proceeds with the banquet anyway. Hubris, perhaps. Overconfidence.
seems like it. A fatal mistake, as it turned out.
It really underscores that danger, doesn't it? Dismissing good counsel, especially when it comes from someone you should trust.
Totally. So, the banquet happens. Afterwards, as everyone's leading, Bian Hong, the attendant.
He follows Sun Yu out and strikes. Stabs him to death, just like the conspirators planned.
Gilan and Daiyuan move fast then. They immediately point the finger at Bian Hong, drag him out to the marketplace, and execute him.
A very convenient scapegoat. Makes them look like they're delivering justice.
But their real motives become clear instantly. They seize all of Sun Yi's family assets, his concubines. They basically loot the place.
Yeah, the mask slips pretty quickly. This wasn't about loyalty or justice. It was pure opportunism and greed.
And then Gilan does something incredibly bold. And frankly, disgusting.
He goes straight to Lady Shu.
Right. Tells her basically, I killed the guy who killed your husband, so I've avenged you. Now you have to marry me.
Or else, he threatens her life if she refuses.
The sheer audacity. He clearly thought she was powerless, just another asset to be claimed.
Which raises that interesting point about power, doesn't it? He thinks he has all the power, the physical force, but Lady Shu understands something deeper.
She understands him, his ego, his desire, and she uses it instantly.
How does she react in that moment? It must have been terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying.
Mm.
But she shows incredible calm. She doesn't refuse outright. She doesn't panic.
Smart. A direct no would likely get her killed on the spot.
Exactly. So she pretends to agree, but she asks for something. She says, okay, but let me wait until the last day of the month. I need to perform a sacrifice for my husband, purify myself, then we can get married.
Buying time.
Yeah.
And appealing to tradition, ritual, things he probably wouldn't question too closely.
Precisely. And Gilan, he falls for it completely, eagerly agrees. He thinks he's got her, got everything. He has no idea. He's just sealed his own fate.
It's brilliant, really, using his assumptions against him. A masterclass in thinking on your feet under extreme pressure.
So she's bought herself time. What's her next move?
She acts immediately. Secretly calls in two of her late husband's most loyal old generals, Sun Gao and Fu Ying.
Okay, so she knows who she can trust.
Definitely. She brings them into the mansion, and then the tears come. She tells them everything.
The truth about Gilan and Daiyuan being the real murderers.
Yes. How they killed Sun Yi, blamed Bian Hong, looted the household, and how Gilan is now forcing her. She explains her plan, her feigned agreement.
And how do the generals react?
They're moved, outraged. They weep with her, pledge their loyalty, and vow to help her get revenge for their lord. They're completely committed.
So they're in. What's the plan?
First step, get word to Sung Quan. They immediately send a trusted messenger to let him know what's really happened. Then they start plotting the trap for Gilan and Daiyuan.
Okay, fast forward to the last day of the month. The day Lady Shu promised Gilan.
Showtime. Lady Shu gets Sun Gao and Fu Ying hidden in a secret room behind a screen, ready.
And then she herself puts on a performance.
An incredible one. After the sacrifice, she takes off her mourning clothes, she bathes, puts on perfume, heavy makeup, and comes out acting cheerful, talkative, like she's ready for a wedding.
Completely playing the part. She must have had nerves of steel.
Unbelievable composure. And Gilan, when he hears about this transformation...
He's thrilled, right? Thinks she's finally come around. His ego is probably soaring.
Exactly. He sees exactly what he wants to see. So that evening, she sends a servant to invite him over.
He walks right into the lion's den.
Literally. He comes to the hall. They start drinking. She lets him get drunk. Compliant, celebratory.
Lowering his guard completely.
And then she makes her move, invites him into the secret room.
The room with the hidden generals. Oh, boy.
He probably thinks it's for, well, something else entirely. He follows her in.
And
The moment they're inside, Lady Zhu cries out, Sun and Fu generals, where are you?
the signal.
Yes. Sun Gao and Fu Ying burst out from behind the screen, knives drawn. Fu Ying strikes Gilan down, and Sun Gao hits him again. It's over in seconds.
Wow. Swift. Brutal. Justice served.
But they're not done yet. One traitor down, one to go.
Daiyuan. Right.
Lady Shu immediately sends for Daiyuan. He comes to the hall, probably wondering what's going on.
And Sun Gao and Fu Ying are waiting for him there.
Exactly. They kill him on the spot, too. No escape.
So, both conspirators dealt with. What about their followers?
The sources say their families and remaining partisans were rounded up and executed swiftly, too. A clean sweep, ending the threat completely.
Yeah, and Lady Shu. What's her final act in this drama?
She puts her mourning clothes back on. Then she takes the heads of Gilan and Daiyuan and offers them as a sacrifice before her husband Sun Yi's spirit tablet.
A powerful, symbolic act. Vengeance completed, honor restored.
Absolutely. It's a very visceral, definitive end to the whole affair.
What happens when Sun Quan finally arrives? The message got through, right?
Yes, the message got through, but by the time Sun Quan gets to Danyang, it's all over. Lady Shu and her loyal generals have already handled everything.
He must have been impressed. And probably relieved.
Definitely. He recognizes the loyalty and bravery of Sun Gao and Fu Ying, promotes them, makes them Yamanan generals, puts them in charge of guarding Danyang.
And Lady Shu, what becomes of her?
Sun Quan takes her back to his own household, ensures she's cared for in her old age, her virtue, her wisdom, her courage. It became legendary in Jingdong. People really admired her.
There's that poem at the end, right?
Yes, it really sums it up. Talent and chastity, both unmatched in the world, traitors once received their just deserts. None compare to the woman hero of Eastern Wu. A fitting tribute.
It truly is. Jian 12, so that's about 207 CE, focusing on the Eastern Wu Kingdom.
Okay, Eastern Wu. What was their situation like back then? The sources make them sound pretty formidable.
Oh, they were. This was a really crucial time for them, Jian 12. Sun Quan wasn't just, holding on. He was actively building his power. Well, he dealt with the local mountain bandits, which stabilized things internally. And crucially, he'd built up this massive navy. We're talking over 7,000 warships.
Wow, 7,000.
Yeah, huge. And that naval power becomes absolutely central later on. Think Battle of Red Cliffs. Plus, he just put Zhu Yu in charge as Grand Commander, pulling all the military power together under one guy.
Okay, so they're strong externally. But the chapter kicks off with something really personal, almost somber. Sun Quan's mother, Wu Taifuran, is on her deathbed.
Exactly. Grounds the whole thing. And she wasn't just anybody. She had this amazing backstory. An orphan, originally from Wu, marries into the Sun family, becomes this key figure.
And wasn't there some kind of prophecy about her?
Yeah, a really interesting one. The story goes, when her sons were born, Sunzi and later Sun Quan, she dreamed the moon, and then the sun entered her embrace. It was seen as this sign foretelling their future greatness. Adds this sort of mythic layer to her final moments.
So right at the end, she gives some pretty specific instructions to Zhu Yu and Zhang Zhao, her trusted advisors.
She does. Really clear, really heartfelt. She basically tells them, look after Sun Quan, support him, treat him like a teacher, guide him.
Like, don't just obey him, but actively counsel him.
Precisely. It's a strategic move, ensuring he leans on their experience. And she also asks Sun Quan to look after her sister and his own sister. It's quite a powerful scene.
Okay, so that emotional weight is there. Then we jump forward to the next spring, on 13 or 208 CE. Sun Quan's got this urge to attack Guangzhou, partly for revenge, right?
Right. But immediately, there's conflict within his own council. A classic leadership problem.
What's the split?
You've got Zhang Zhao, the senior statesman type, saying, whoa, hold on, we're still in mourning for your mother. It's not proper to launch a campaign. Tradition, propriety.
Okay, makes sense.
But then Zhao Yu, the military man, argues the opposite. He's saying, no, we need to strike now. It's about revenge and maybe strategic opportunity.
So tradition versus action, how's Sun Quan supposed to decide?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And just as he's grappling with this, someone completely unexpected shows up. Someone reported by Lu Ming, who holds the title Pingbei Duai.
And this arrival changes things.
Completely. This is where Gan Ning enters the story.
Gan Ning. Xingbao, tell us about him. His reputation definitely comes first.
Oh, absolutely. He's from Baxi Linjiang, and he's this fascinating mix, literate, apparently very strong, loves chivalry, but his early days, totally different.
Yep.
He led a band of outlaws, roamed the rivers and lakes, and the sources mention this really specific, chilling detail. He wore a copper bell on his waist.
A bell? Why?
Apparently just the sound of it was enough to make people scatter. They knew trouble was coming.
Wow. Okay. And he had that nickname too, right? The brocade sail pirate.
Yeah, Jin Fan Zai,
Yeah.
because he supposedly used expensive Sichuan silk for his boat sails. Talk about flamboyant for an outlaw.
That's incredible. Silk sails and a warning bell. quite the image.
Definitely paints a picture. But then he apparently has a change of heart, regrets his past, tries to find a more legitimate path.
So he tries to join someone else first.
Right, he attempts to join Liu Biao. But he gets disillusioned pretty quickly. The source basically says Liu Biao couldn't achieve anything. So Gan Ning figures Eastern Wu is the place to be.
But it wasn't a smooth transition, was it? Didn't he run into trouble with Huang Zu?
He did. Huang Zu, who was a rival of Sun Quan's, kept Gan Ning stuck at a place called Xiaku. And get this, Gan Ning had actually saved Huang Zu's life during an earlier attack by Eastern Wu.
No way. He saved the guy.
Yep, but Huang Zu still treated him badly, called him just a river pirate, said he wasn't fit for high command. Talk about short-sighted.
So Huang Zu basically pushes away the guy who could have helped him and who later does help Sun Quan beat him.
Exactly, the irony is thick. It actually took one of Huang Zu's own officers, Su Fei, to secretly help Gan Ning escape.
And that's when Lu Meng steps in, the Pinglai Due.
Correct. Lu Meng, who was already a significant commander for Wu, his title means general who pacifies the north. He persuades Gan Ning to come over to Sun Quan. He really sells Sun Quan's strengths, his open-mindedness, his willingness to look past someone's background.
Even the fact that Gan Ning had killed a Wu general, Ling Cao, previously.
Even that. Lu Meng argued Sun Quan would see the bigger picture, see Gan Ning's potential value now.
So the big meeting, Sun Quan and Gan Ning, how does it go?
It's instantly positive. Sun Quan is apparently just delighted. He basically says, okay, now we can beat Huang Zu. With Xingba here, it's assured.
Wow, no hesitation, just immediate confidence.
It shows Sun Quan's pragmatism, doesn't it?
Yep.
He sees the tool he needs to solve a specific problem defeating Huang Zu, and he grabs it, regardless of the, let's say, unconventional packaging. He saw the strategic asset, not just the pirate.
And Gan Ning immediately proves him right. He offers the strategic advice. The golden jade words, Sun Quan calls them.
Yeah, and it's not just about Huang Zu. Gan Ning thinks big picture right away. He talks about the Han Dynasty falling apart, Cao Cao making his move in the north.
So the wider context.
Exactly. And the absolute importance of Jing province, it's the strategic key sitting right in the middle. He also dismisses Liu Biao, the current ruler of Jing province, says he's got no vision, his sons are useless. Basically, Jing is vulnerable.
So seize the moment. Attack Huang Zu now. What were Gan Ning's specific points about Huang Zu?
He lays it out clearly. Huang Zu's old, maybe going senile, he's greedy, people hate him, his military gear is falling apart, his troops aren't disciplined, he's ripe for the picking.
Makes a compelling case.
And then he goes further. He says, after Huang Zu, don't stop, push west, take Chu Pass, then make plans to conquer Baolan-Shu, modern Sichuan, establish a real empire.
A blueprint for dominance, basically.
Pretty much, a proper hegemonic enterprise.
And Sun Quan. He doesn't just nod along, he acts immediately.
Instantly. Zhu Yu is confirmed as Grand Commander for the campaign. Lu Meng gets the vanguard. Dong Xi and Gan Ning himself are made deputy generals. And Sun Quan decides to lead the whole massive army, 100,000 troops himself. They are not messing around.
Okay, so the plan is set, the army is moving. What happens when they reach Huang Zu's territory? The battle at Miankou.
Right. Huang Zu gets wind of it via spies, scrambles to defend Jiangxia. He puts Su Fei, the guy who helped Gan Ning escape, remember, in charge, with Chen Ju and Deng Long as his vanguard commanders.
And their first line of defense sounds pretty tough, these Mingchong boats.
Yeah, these are big assault boats. They pack them with archers and crossbowmen, thousands of them, and then they chain them together across the river at Miankou with thick ropes, basically creating a floating fortress, a barrier.
So Wu's initial attack doesn't work.
Nope. They try to push through, but the arrows are just too intense. They're forced back several li. A li is, what, about half a kilometer? So it's a significant pullback.
Yeah.
Things look stalled.
Enter Gan Ning again.
You guessed it. This is his moment. He sees the hesitation and basically says, look, we've come this far, we have to push forward. No retreat.
So what does he do? This sounds like it needs something drastic.
It's incredibly audacious. He picks out about 100 smaller boats, puts 50 elite soldiers in each, 20 just paddling like mad, the other 30 heavily armored, carrying swords, told to ignore the arrows and stones. Their mission, get to those thick ropes, holding the big boats together.
Charge in and cut the ropes, under all that fire.
Exactly. It's almost suicidal, but it's brilliant. They row straight into the storm of arrows, reach the Mengchong, and start hacking away at the ropes.
Does it work?
It does. As the ropes are cut, the big boats lose their formation. They start drifting, bumping into each other, chaos. And in that chaos, Gan Ning personally leaps onto one of the enemy boats and kills the commander, Danglong.
Just like that, tucks out the commander himself.
Just like that. Seeing this, the other commander, Chen Ju, panics, abandons his own boat, and tries to flee back to shore.
What a turnaround.
And it snowballs. Lu Meng sees his chance. He jumps into a small boat, rows it himself, gets close enough to set fire to Huang Zu's now disorganized fleet. Then he chases down Chen Ju on land and cuts him down too.
Total collapse for Huang Zu's forces.
Complete rout. The Wu generals land their troops on the shore, and they're just unstoppable. Huang Zu's army breaks. Su Fei gets captured by another Wu general, Pan Zan.
And Sun Quan's reaction to capturing Su Fei, the guy who helped Ganding.
No mercy shown in the heat of the moment, it seems. Sun Quan orders Su Fei put in a cage marked for execution right alongside Huang Zu once they catch him. The push towards Huang Zu's main base at Shiko becomes relentless day and night.